Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Certainly, Captain. I was hoping you would ask.
It was the law-forsaken parasites. I had become obsessed. My quest to stop them. To avenge my partner, Philip. And my ex-partner, Bernice. And Lieutenant Jurgen. And those two informants had brought me to Rizzo's distillery. But it wasn't just the triple distilled deliciousness of Rizzo's Spectrum brand vodka that I found there. It was death. I made sure the Brain Eaters paid the price. But at what cost to me? It's you.
This is the Halcyon News Network with breaking news. Halcyon Helen has been murdered. Administrator Ludovico of Rizzo's refused to answer the big question on everyone's mind. Who will Spectrum Vodka's next spokesperson be? Claiming that a special investigation must be concluded first.
Captain, we have a communication coming in from one Administrator Ludovico.
Get off the transmission, Cedric. We agreed to let me do the negotiating. Law be with you, friend. I am Administrator Ludovico of the famed Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. But there's no need to stand on formality. You may address me as Mr. How about not? I apologize if I've struck too familiar a tone for your tastes. Let me get right to the point. Halcyon Helen is dead. Murdered. Her death is the tragedy of our lifetime. As the face of our new product line, her murder is a stain on the Rizzo's brand. She was scheduled to unveil our newest product, Spectrum Brown, before this tragic event. But we cannot move forward with our unveiling until we apprehend the killer.
All right, Ludovico, that's enough. You don't know what you're doing. Let me handle this. Captain Hawthorne, Sublight's favorite freelancer. I'm such an admirer of your work. Cedric Kincannon, Sublight Underground. I'm so glad we're hiring a third-party investigator. No one wants to see a troop of UDL guards stomping all over my hotel. Least of all me. The murder of Halcyon Helen is a heinous assault on this colony. I look forward to watching you find the miscreant responsible and drag them out of the shadows. Two-bit actor. Oh, Captain. This isn't Spencer Woolridge we're talking about. This is Halcyon Helen, Princess of Periodicals, Duchess of Dramaturgy. You would not believe the money she made us on Dissident Busters.
For law's sake, Cedric, could you show a little discretion and not bring up your contraband operations in front of an outsider?
Ludovico, you wound me. I'm establishing rapport with our new contractor. Let's not give him the impression that you can't be trusted.
Do you really want to do this right now, Cedric? You want to antagonize me while I'm negotiating a contract? Because I promise you, I'll win.
We can do this anytime you want. I'll even make an appointment. I'm sure your schedule's wide open. What with your product launch being indefinitely delayed due to unforeseen murder.
All right, Cedric. If that's how you want to behave, I have no choice but to file an official reprimand on your permanent record.
Oh, please do. I'd love an official reprimand from a failed executive. Could you do me a favor and have it laminated?
Could we please stop this nonsense? Captain, I'm Constable Maria Keene. Hiring a third-party investigator was my idea. I've been studying your dossier. You're the vice president of Sublight. You earned that promotion with your own 2 hands. I can't help but respect that quality. As far as I'm concerned, you're the ideal inspector for this case. Just the 3 of us. You must excuse us. The situation on Eridanos is tense. If we don't bring Helen's killer to justice, this scandal could scupper our entire operation. Please, Captain, I'm asking you to help us. While you're pursuing your investigation, we'll make you a guest of honor at the Grand Colonial.
I encourage you to consider this offer seriously. The future of our complex may depend on your success. I'll leave you in the constable's care. Mr. Kincannon and I must have a word.
Fine. Bud Rizzo's is paying for that hotel room.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for your help. And even though they may not show their gratitude, I know Administrator Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon appreciate your involvement. Mr. Kincannon could lose his spaceport if board authorities took over the investigation, and if Rizzo's is forced to cancel its unveiling, we might never recover. I represent the law, Captain, but what's happening between Mr. Kincannon and the Administrator is politics. Politics are not my area of expertise. The law is simple. Politics are complicated. I'm pleased to hear that. From everything I've heard, you're a competent freelancer. And at the risk of sounding impertinent, we desperately need the help of someone competent. Thank you for your time, Captain. Whenever you're ready, I've authorized the Unreliable to land at the Grand Colonial.
Transmission terminated. Captain, we are now cleared to land at the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Eridanos, recently famous for Halcyon Helen's death. How exciting.
Atmospheric cleanliness is unexpectedly pristine.
Hello there. Hope your atmospheric entry wasn't too troublesome. As a guest of honor, you deserve the best in comfort. Sublight Salvage and Shipping Underground, or Slug, as we like to call ourselves, is delighted to welcome you to Eridanos. I'm the Grand Colonial Head Bellhop. I'm here to grab your bags and direct you, the Inspector, to the Grand Ballroom, which was the scene of the crime. I can try. I was the one who found Helen's body in the Grand Ballroom. Corpse wasn't in the best shape. Aside from that, I don't know a whole lot. Helen was supposed to host the unveiling for Rizzo's newest product, Spectrum Brown. Until you catch the killer, the unveiling's been indefinitely postponed. Helen's death has been a shock for many. A lot of people are inconsolable. Hell, even Black Hole Birdie, Helen's beau, has wandered off. Some folks think he had something to do with the murder, but I don't believe it.
We should ask if they're comping the minibar. This might take a while, if you get me.
Emergency stain and accident disappearing goop capsules are currently low on capacity. Would you like to order a new 5,000 caps carton of goop for this unit?
Folks get heated when it comes to serials and their actors, I suppose. Not particularly. But I think some folks were jealous of her success, or otherwise viewed her as a threat. Reckon how she came about her fame didn't help. Actually, Helen didn't do anything like that. She was just so stellar in her roles, and the public liked her so much that she got a following all on her own. She ended up about as famous and high-runged as your average VP, which rubbed a lot of Byzantines the wrong way. Actors ain't supposed to get preferential treatment. Let's see here. Oh, I already spoke briefly about the Spectrum unveiling, or lack thereof. It's still an awful shame. A lot of folks looking forward to that. I do. Rizzo's happened to rent out the Grand Colonial Ballroom from Slug for the unveiling. A nice mutually beneficial event. But the murder's gone and ruined that, along with 9 out of 10 of my favorite cereals. Anyway, I think I've held you up long enough. Once you're ready, head down to the lobby. The ballroom is just behind the elevators. Meanwhile, I'll grab your bags. You're certain? All right, then. Guess we can probably set you up with some spare uniforms if you must yours. This is one of the worst weeks I've ever seen.
Greetings, Inspector. No need to check in here. Your paper...
Fancy place. I hope they're not expecting us to pay.
I can't believe someone so famous as Halcyon Helen can meet a fake like this.
I wish I'd worn my muddy...
I'll bet you 10 bits that... Black Hole Birdie's disappeared.
Oh, thank the law. Inspector, you don't know how relieved I am to see you. I'm pleased to hear that. Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation. Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods. Behold, my discrepancy amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential. You're rather sharp in your upper story. I can see why you're the inspector. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification. Yes. It's a magnifying glass, but an extraordinarily powerful one. It looks through the glass of reality itself.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once. You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
This unit has detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification. The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier. The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious. I must have set its impertinence levels to flagrant.
This unit's features include an automated personality simulator. This unit has been programmed to simulate joy and satisfaction in assisting you. This footprint stands out from the normally spotless floor of the grand ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants. Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75, suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size. It is also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint. Excellent observation, Inspector. The following compounds have been detected: purpleberry residue, nitrogen-rich fertilizer, common grass. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio. This deduction appears sound.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. You'll need Administrator Ludovico to grant you access to the orchards. Contact him through the secure access terminal in your penthouse suite. Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by now. If it isn't, I may have to go shake someone by the collar.
timeline discrepancy detected.
I knew I should have gotten her autograph when I had the chance.
This body has not been disposed of in a board-approved waste receptacle. Printing citation ticket 9554-PKF.
This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky bee. This hypothesis is plausible, but requires additional information. Now calculating likelihood of Halcyon Helen using her final moments to endorse Rizzo's Spectrum Brown. Low to moderate likelihood. Correct. Bertie Black Hole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel. Accessing guest database B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001. This evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now generating pre-approved compliment. Splendid work, Inspector.
How awful!
Welcome to the Grand Colonial.
Finally checked in, I see. I hope you're fond of the penthouse. It's pretty much the best seat in the whole hotel. You shouldn't want for any amenity you might find elsewhere. Should act as a better headquarters for the investigation than any space dust covered ship. That and you ain't got room service on a ship. You ever need anything, come find me. Even if you don't, you can still swing by. I'm always happy to chat. Oh, of course. That is, maybe not on a personal level, but I'm one of her biggest fans. Even started an association of like-minded individuals. I'd lament not having anything to meet about anymore, but the newer tribe just ain't done it for us. Still, there goes my hopes of a Terran Monarch reunion episode. Sorry, friend, but I guess you don't get it. Helen was special, had a certain quality about her, like she would really go out and fight injustice. You look at Woolrich and no disrespect to the man, but you just don't get the same feeling. He reminds me more of a vacuum suit without nobody in it. Don't tell him I said that. Now, what can I lend a hand with? Notice my battle-hardened physique, have you? Used to be in a mighty mean line of work. Been shot at 35 times. That is, I've been near people who were shot at 35 times. But to be honest, I never really enjoyed it, you know? It's one thing to tightrope walk between life and death every day, but for just a handful of bits? Nah. When this position came up, I jumped on it and made a lateral move from sublight to slug. I ain't ever looked back. Well, slug is something like an offshoot of sublight. It ain't too difficult to pivot from one part of the same company to another. Disconnects or no. That said, my departure may have been somewhat hasty. Well, you could call it a small lapse in judgment. Basically, I singled out a ship to salvage that I thought had been out for use for years. As it turns out, it belonged to a wealthy Byzantine who used it only to vacation. As it so happened, I still don't think she tried to use it, too satisfied with the luxuries of Byzantium. Still, I figured it was a good time to turn tail, in case that ever changed. Stories. Huh. Actually, I think I got a couple now that you mention it. Had a basket case visit from Fallbrook once. Almost took a swing at me when I tried to take his bag. Turned out to be full of live sprats. We charged him extra. Well, Slug is more trustworthy for one thing, where Sublight is all about back alleys and backstabbing. Slug can be trusted not to salvage your ship when you turn your head. Please do. Sure, I'd taken to checking the barroom every few hours prior to the unveiling. Just to make sure no sprats had snuck into the place. You understand. Found her right before I was set to head back to my room in the lower levels for my mandated 5-hour sleep period. Tell ya, thank the law for caffeinoid. Been too upset to get a wink of sleep since. And hey, now I can finally see smells. What? No! Just because I found the corpse doesn't mean I made her a corpse. I was in shift all day. Besides, I loved Helen serials. Well, the old ones anyway. The newer episodes are hot junk on a warm day. Beats all hell out of me. Maybe she was, practicing for the unveiling? Sure. What's on your mind? Of course I did. I just told you I found the body. Oh, wait. You mean when she was still breathing? No, of course I didn't. Plus, it's untoward for an employee to speculate about the actions of a hotel guest. Not that I saw any hotel guests interacting with her. Honestly, you're more than a little right. I've been burning at the britches to share my theories. Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability, and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on. Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. Can't say much else, seeing how I ain't in the gossip market. Or as I can recall, Helen dismissed the lady's seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are always ready to read between the lines of famous folks and seem to think the profit was on her way out. Woman lost a ton of bits and is set to lose more. I hope all that helped. I'd like to be as useful as I can in the investigation. I just didn't want to steer anyone the wrong way. Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. And...
Oh, come on. Why is the lounge...
I did not read about this kind of treatment in the service agreement papers.
Warning! The liquid in this pool is currently toxic. Swimming is not advised for elderly customers and lab sprats.
And I bet you believed Halcyon Helen's death was the worst.
Reminder, if you let your SAM unit be eaten by wildlife, it voids the warranty.
I'm thinking of preserving the profit of profitability is
Rizzo's cares about the happiness of...
Rizzo's cares about the happiness of its family. Spacer's Choice can't say that.
What authorized floor can I bring you to? Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Where did we go wrong? Oh, Lo, I'm so sorry. That didn't mean for... Helen! I love you. I love you so much.
The imprint left inside this suitcase matches the silhouette of Halcyon Helen's iconic handgun, the Needler. The weapon was recently removed.
Inspector, I understand you've visited the scene of the crime. Halcyon Helen was an important cultural icon. She will be sorely missed. Agreed. Tell me about your investigation. Your discretion is appreciated. I admit, I'm beginning to feel more confident in this arrangement. Here, I'm granting you access through the gates to the orchards. You're officially authorized to see this investigation through to the end. There is one caveat. Cedric's being rather intransigent about letting you into the spaceport. Possibly he's trying to hide something. Possibly he wants to annoy me. Possibly both. You have a lead to chase. Law speed, Inspector.
Someone focused on their work. I can absolutely respect that. We're terror rays of a fin, Inspector. Now, I'd love to bring you to a floor of your choosing. Oh, so sorry, but you're not actually authorized to visit that floor. What authorized floor can I bring you to? Oh, so sorry, but you're not actually authorized to visit that floor.
Spokesman said that the unveiling...
gets it if you hit it over the edge.
Maybe you haven't heard, but we're in the middle of a lockdown. No one's supposed to be coming or going. And when I can't get a hold of anyone in the orchards, I can't.
That's the last of him.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. The garb on this security guard identifies him as a member of the Rizzo's Corporation. His rank would have been that of Jawbreaker or higher. This security guard has experienced premature expiration. Evidence strongly suggests a conflict with Marauders. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This guard also expired prematurely, following a violent encounter with Marauders. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
It's Amelia. Evan must have gotten into the Spectrum in these crates. Listen to this.
Come out! Come out to play!
Law. He's having a grand old time. I'm gonna take him to A2 under the hotel so he can sleep it off. I'll meet you back at the orchard straight after. See you soon. Evan, come on, you flackwit.
It's Rizzo's! Welcome to the Purpleberry Nut Hut, you wonderful, wonderful customer! Thank you for giving my humble existence value.
I don't know if whatever that is catching, but let's keep our distance.
I sure am! Good lamps you got on you to take notice. Oh, that? I call it my little passenger. I don't know why. The name just appeared in my head when this thing showed up on my neck. Don't you dare! Or I'll cut something off you! Gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I just felt this urge to protect my little passenger, even if it means hurting you. couple of days. Ever since it showed up, I've been feeling happier and happier. I really can't imagine life without my little passenger. I don't know. It just appeared one day. I guess I just picked it up while working in the orchards. Sometimes I wonder how it showed up, and I start to worry. But worrying feels bad, and I hate feeling bad. So I don't worry about it. Now I'd love to get you something. Maybe a couple somethings? Whatever you like, I can sell it to you at a low, low price. Our alcohol stocks are larger than ever. And a good thing, too, because I just can't seem to stop myself from getting into them. Our products are just that good.
Did you know a third of Halcyonites are allergic to trees? Most spend their whole lives in ships or in their town's walls.
Entering quiet mode.
Nice going.
Maybe I could hold up my end if your people weren't sabotaging my operations. And if sabotaging the orchards weren't enough, you had to make it personal. You really had to bust my Insta coffee maker too? The nerve.
Hold that asinine thought. Who is this armed stranger who just wandered into your office? Back up for a fight you can't finish?
What the hell are you talking about? I don't know this fella. I think it's mightily more likely that he's under your payroll. Here to burn down what you haven't already.
I see. Just a visitor, then. Congratulations, Hathaway. Not everyone's abandoned your orchards.
Well, shame that you're trying to change that. Anyway, sorry for the heated reception, stranger. There's just been some trouble here of late. Name's Overseeing Orchardist Hathaway, and I'm in charge of these orchards. Though it seems like certain groups, which will remain unnamed, are trying to change that. Looks like I'm stuck playing the part of customer service rep. Guess it's different from the usual, at least. Something I can do for you? Yeah, just another woe to add to the pile. In the past, the orchard subcontracted security work from Slug. You know, keep the malcontents on staff from causing too much trouble. But between the Spectrum Brown unveiling demanding all of our resources and the recent uptick in worker accidents, we just ain't got the budget for security. And, of course, Slug has decided that instead of being reasonable, they're just gonna sabotage our operations until we start paying them again.
Look at the poor Rizzo's manager, lying about Sublight to make himself feel better. Shame he skipped where Rizzo's was short on our payments months before the new unveiling.
Look, at the end of the day, it's obvious that Slug is sabotaging us. I ain't paying until they come clean. Thank the law, some good news. You hear that, lapdog? Truth's coming. Better fess up while you still can outside of an interrogation room.
While I'm sure you'd love to have a scapegoat on whom you can pin your own incompetence, I suspect you'll be disappointed. But what do I know? I suppose it's up to your new hiree.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
I just wanted to make you smile!
Nearby. These footprints match the shoes previously analyzed in the Grand Ballroom. There is a 110% chance with a 10% margin of error that they were left by Ruth Bellamy, the actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Anything interesting?
Sam never chases the competition. We're always a step ahead.
How'd you do that so fast?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected near... Congratulations, Inspector. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Dirt alert! Alert!
Never! I just want to be your
Someone else will clean this up, right?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as...
They're on us.
Detected!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis. This discarded canister is typical of the R-mounted storage tanks on the orchard's agricultural mechanicals. However, it is not currently attached to a mechanical. This canister contains a high amount of vinegar in addition to water. Warning. Use of vinegar, a known herbicide on purpleberry saplings, is a violation of Rizzo's agricultural standards. Chemical makeup of substance. 50% water, 50% vinegar. Trace amounts of woolly cow feces also detected. These canisters can typically be found in the nursery storage building in the Purpleberry Orchards, except for this one, which can be found here. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This console is 95% non-functional. Remaining 5% functionality stems from display reading console non-functional. Cause of shortout is most likely related to purple residue splattered all across the keyboard. Substance contains trace amounts of purple berries, fruit flavors, and artificial sweeteners number 35, number 49, number 240, number 322, number 314, and many, many, many others.
You've got to be doing this just to mess with me.
Hey! Oh, wait. I'm supposed to say the slogan. Okay, you can do this, Anna. Here goes. It doesn't matter if you're you or me. We're all part of the Rizzo's family. How was that? No jest? Well, that's a wager I sure would have lost. Guess even a busted spectrometer can be right if you hold it to the light, huh? I'm sure you've guessed it, but I'm not the best at remembering slogans. And when I can't remember them, I tend to just make them up. But I guess that's why I'm just an intern and not a full-timer. At least, not yet. What? No, that's ridiculous. I can't tell you I've never made any mistakes, but it'd be pretty hard to keep my job if I were trying to break everything. Though there was the time I tried to fix a broken hinge on one of our mosquito hives and released a swarm. Chased me around the orchards 3 times before I managed to get help. Well, they're really mean, for one thing. Mosquitoes don't stop stinging you when you die. They keep going for 10 or 15 minutes after. Don't worry, though. Mosquitoes are typically only about when living folks aren't in the orchards. I am contractually obligated to tell you that mosquitoes never get out during visiting hours. But when they do, the only way to get them to return is to go directly to Hive Control and activate emergency recall. Which isn't easy, considering all the hives near Control. But this is all a departure from what I wanted to say. I've been trying to help the orchards, not harm them. Hold a moment. You haven't found anything, have you? Well, maybe. I might have had a supersized cup of mixed purpleberry punch and lemon slap that I might have knocked over when I was running routine diagnostics. Look, I know what you're thinking, but I have the proper permit to mix those drinks. I just left it in my other work uniform.
I doubt it. I've used that exact same line.
Hey, we have a lot of uniforms. It's hard keeping track of all your belongings. How did you notice? The diagnostic normally takes hours, and that's only if humidity's low. I wanted to take the initiative to try and make it faster. Why should Weed Killer affect saplings? Weed Killer. It's in the name. It should kill only weeds. That really seems like it's more on product design than on me. Well, yes. The orchards are becoming overrun with pests. Usually we give workers handguns and tell them to go to town, which results in many injured workers and a few dead sprats. Our exterminator automax only kill mosquitoes, and even then, only if an exec somehow ended up in the orchards during a pollinization cycle. So I decided to do some reprogramming. The reprogramming was easy until I locked myself out of the terminal. Then, when I was running away from the bots, I dropped the terminal access card somewhere in the orchards. Believe me, I know that now. Guess I did sort of mess that one up. Law's alive. I really did think I was doing good by the orchards, but with all that you've told me, it sounds like I've done much more harm. I know it's a lot to ask, but is there a chance you could vouch for me to my boss? It might not seem like it, but I've been trying to take the initiative. I really do want to help. Wow, thank you so much. You do this for me and I'll make sure to do whatever I can to make things better.
There's no way that backfires.
You're back, I see. Glad Slug hasn't managed to scare you off.
I think it's more of a wonder that nothing in these law-forsaken orchards has managed to kill them.
How's the investigation going? You got a complete report for me yet? All right, let's hear the details. Ha! Knew Slug was behind the damn sabotage.
Please. We're subtle, but that's too subtle. If we wanted to destroy your saplings, you'd have known them by the blackened remnants of their stems, not some half-assed poisoning.
Huh. You didn't destroy any of them? Reckon I would have lost that bet. Thanks.
One less expense for you and your bosses, Hathaway. Lucky you.
So what were the fine details of the sabotage anyhow? Were Slug's lackeys trying to get the mechanicals to kill all our waspitos? Of course. And what better way to do that than by targeting our pollinizers? They'd be a hell of a pain to kill manually, but if you set the mechanicals to do it...
In your delusional fantasy, the waspitos wouldn't be out until next pollinization cycle. Wouldn't someone notice the rampant mechanicals beforehand?
That seems like a question you should be asking yourself. Well, yes, it's possible to manually start and end cycles in Hive Control, but we keep a careful watch on it. And there have been no non-Rizzo's personnel in or out.
Stop wasting everyone's time, Hathaway. What you're proposing is infinitely less likely than an idiot maneuver by one of your incompetent workers. I won't hear any further slander.
A drink? I ain't ever heard of no saboteur dumping drinks all over equipment to destroy it. I hate to say it, but that sounds more like worker carelessness.
How many times do I have to tell you this, old man? Slug isn't behind your problems. Slug wouldn't even need to cause you problems. Your own workers do enough. Let's go through this one final time so even you can't confuse it, Hathaway. Slug didn't do a damn thing to your orchards. You're chasing ghosts.
Talk about ghosts all you like, but someone was screwing with my orchards. If it wasn't Slug, then who the hell was it? You picked a hell of a time to lose your tongue over there, friend. I guess I can't force you to tell me anything, but the peace of mind would have been worth much to me.
Normally I'm all for being difficult, but maybe we ought to tell him.
I know what it is. You discovered Slug was behind everything, and they're forcing you to keep quiet. Typical Slug.
I have never wanted to strangle someone with my bare hands as badly as I do in this moment.
Right now, we of the Orchards have to settle things with Slug. I reckon that you're about as impartial a third party as we're gonna get. Can you mediate?
Ah, what the hell. The Orchardist seems to get off on complicating what should be a simple deal, but at this point, I just want to be paid and go. The pollen in the air is agitating.
Never like paying bits if I ain't gotta, but you're right. If we get production finished now, we'll be able to pay later. Thoughts, Slug Boy?
I think that's the first interesting suggestion I've heard since our back and forth began. Slug can wait for an increase in costs. I hope we won't have this conversation again.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Hey, what are you doing in here? Are you authorized to be in the conservatory? Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Are you my ex-wife? No, she fell off the side of Eridanos under mysterious circumstances 6 years ago, conveniently rendering our marriage contract null. You must be the new, groundskeeper? That can't be it either, seeing how the new one hasn't died yet. Just who are you? Merciful law, that sounds like a lot of philosophism, which is highly outlawed throughout Halcyon. But I won't report you, considering how heavily armed you are. Bleeding hell. Standing up like this makes a body forget how stiff he gets, bent over plants all day. Oh, seems I'm not as young as I feel. Indeed. Tromped in and out of the conservatory with no heed for anyone else. Good thing none of my charges were damaged. Starlet or not, I would have had a harsh word for her. I heard she pushed her way into a tour of the RR&DD labs not soon after. She's just a serial actress. Yet she acts like she's deserved of the same access as a co-CEO. Well, she's not going anywhere ever again. Which is a shame, of course. Taken too soon and all. I sit inside and I look at plants. Goal is usually to make Rizzo's fruit products hardier and sweeter, but for every success, there are a couple of hundred failures. Example, tried breeding native triticale with a foreign strain. Would have called it hexticale. In the end, it bred so fast, workers were swallowed up before they could harvest it. That one, I think, can be attributed to the waspitos. Some lament their irritability, but their productivity is unmatched. What's a few dead workers in the architect's designs? You say angry. I say efficient. Not only can our waspitos defend themselves, but Rizzo's investments as well. They come through the orchards only during pollination cycles, as dictated by our hive control operators, which means that visitors usually aren't on the receiving ends of their stingers. Well, yes, if there's an equipment malfunction, the pollination cycle will have to be manually shut down, which means traveling to hive control while the waspitos swarm.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy. Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Their mistake.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress.
They got the drop on us.
Performance evaluation aid. Sterling!
What would Halcyon Helen...
This area has been sanitized.
Hello? I can hear you out there. If you still possess the majority of your mental capacities, please locate the test room through the lobby and to the left. You'll see.
Okay. It's not worth it, buddy.
How in the Aether did you get in here? You're not a Rizzo's authorized. Oh, void it all. What does it even matter now? What do you want? Speak up and quickly if you will. You do know that Halcyon Helen is a fictional character portrayed by the late actress, Ruth Bellamy, yes? One can't be too sure with so many simpletons around in the day-to-day. Regardless, I am not at liberty to divulge such information with non-employees or personnel lacking security clearance level Spectrum Orange. Of course, if you were to say, contract your services to me, I suppose I could grant you clearance enough to answer your murder-related questions, Mr. Inspector. You see, I've found myself in a bit of a pickle. Some of my lab techs have turned rather aggressive following a recent experiment gone awry. Hence why I've barricaded myself in the lab. Yes. I suppose I should make myself useful. Let me think. Ah, I know. I can remotely unlock the supply closets in the lower levels of the lab. Perhaps you'll find some useful apparatus or two in them. And lose my life's work? You want me to just burn my lab and my entire future to the ground over one experiment that's gotten rather out of hand? No, I think not. We merely need to clean up the mess, so to speak. Reset the lab back to functional parameters.
Even I think that's pretty cold, and I'm a mercenary.
Staff can be replaced, you know. Research data? Now that's invaluable. Oh no. They're quite unaware of their actions, I'm afraid. We're a research and development branch of Rizzo's, focused primarily on the Spectrum vodka line. But the specific research that goes on in this facility is utterly confidential. You understand? So you've no qualms about snooping through my precious research files. But will you understand the data once you've acquired it? Essentially, we research new innovations for an array of Rizzo's products. My present troubles stem from one we've just developed. The product's potential for profit is nearly limitless. But I'm afraid explaining the science behind it would far exceed your capability for understanding.
If it's causing sudden aggressive behavior in lab technicians, there must be a fast-acting neurological agent of some kind.
I've underestimated you. Yes, it seems to be an adverse effect of several organisms attaching to a subject. Quite unnerving. Excellent. You have my gratitude, and soon you'll have my knowledge of Miss Bellamy's recent visit as well. Now, if you'd rather not kill my lab techs during this cleanup, I believe you can dispense a sedative gas from a terminal in the utility room.
Your call, Captain. I don't know if the lab techs can even be helped at this point.
The door to the lower labs is sealed for our safety, so you'll need to take the elevator down. I'll unseal the access hallway for you now. Do take care.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Something's bumming me out.
Make him
Your
Captain!
SAM unit is performing at peak capacity. Resuming passive mode.
What? I'll show you how. I just want to be your friend.
Caution! Infestation in...
We didn't even get our hands dirty.
Imagine making...
Here we go.
Nice one.
Might I conclude you found an alternative method of pacification? Please return for consultation at once. And do remember, unauthorized access of confidential Rizzo's information is a capital offense. Oh my law. It's you.
Just when we were gonna get some answers. Don't they realize this just makes us more curious about that data file?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Confirmation of discrepancy confirmed. This person is most definitely dead. But recently, they were still alive.
These puncture marks. It looks like she was injected with something. Well, they're definitely dead. There are lots of...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Nice and easy.
The organic matter that comprises this lab worker died at a similar time and of similar circumstance as the other corpses already scanned.
Oh, God. Oh, whoops. There it is. Okay. This is... This is Dr. Blossom. Eridanium gigaseous Slug Research Report 1. Subject: a bunch of slugs. Ugh. These things may well be Rizzo's ticket to the top of the board. But at the end of the day, they still look like my brother would if he ever... These things may well be Rizzo's ticket to the top of the board. But at the end of the day, they still look like my brother would if he ever stopped wearing that damn toupee. Initially found these little bastards suckling on the hairy undersides of a teacup canid. Much like my brother, who works for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. The backstabber. Suffice it to say that these things are parasites. The canid didn't seem to mind, but it's almost as stupid as my research staff. Good stuff. Oh, whoops. Got some spectrum on the dissection subject. It's fine. Yeah, I think I see a couple sacs in the worm. Might secrete enzymes or poison or something. We'll figure it out later. Starting to see doubles, so I'm going to switch to working on the Gatling. Almost got the spectrum lock done.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Body heat readings indicate that the culprit was just here, mere moments earlier in the timeline.
Attention all personnel. Unscheduled pollinization cycle is about to commence. Please evacuate the orchards at this time. Releasing the mosquitoes for pollinization. Cycle is now in progress.
Do you hear buzzing?
Invasive contaminants.
Ready for more.
Congratulations, Inspector. You've discovered more footprints belonging to the deceased actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Dirt alert! Dirt
Reminder, mosquitoes are aggressive pollinators who have been known to be extremely territorial.
Never felt so damn good in my life.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
So you, happiness!
Trying to infect me with your sorrow. I'm gonna let no one bring me down.
I can't
Spray's just released. Stay away, Spray is 33.33% effective.
Tool is comprised of 99% plastic, 0.5% steel, and 0.5% carbonated sugary beverage. Trace amounts of kerosene, alcohol, hydrazine, and liquid hydrogen also detected.
So, what'd you find?
From high-pressure acid cannons to weapons-grade steel wool, every SAM unit comes equipped with the right tools for the job.
Does that mean we can toss them over the side of the complex when we find them?
We should try to solve the puzzle hedges in the orchards. The prize is supposed to be something.
What floor would you like to visit? Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
Prepare to be vaporized.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The Waspitos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production. The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers understand the hazards. Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are suspicious. But let's concentrate on the matter at hand. Have you discovered anything? You have my attention. That's troubling, to say the least. Any transfer of proprietary data is strictly prohibited without my permission. A clever deduction, Inspector. That gives us a little information to work with. Yes, I share your suspicions. Someone didn't want you following their trail. This feels like more than corporate espionage. Someone's playing with us, Inspector. And I have never in my life enjoyed games. Did you discover anything else? That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Leora Blossom was an extraordinary scientist and a friend. We have a murderer on the loose, Inspector, as if the death of Halcyon Helen wasn't enough of a blow to our facility. Her commitment to her NDA was admirable. I'll make sure to accelerate the payout of her death benefits to her next of kin. I wish you'd give me a little more information, Inspector. Leora was a friend. But I promised to leave this investigation in your hands, and so I shall. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you have my attention. Insisted. That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions. Little of consequence. We'd tour the grounds, pause at some locations appropriate for a portrait, let her shake hands with our scientists. Public relations. A picnic? I don't recall approving a private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Was there anything else? This incident at the orchards must be connected to Helen's murder somehow. I don't know how, but I feel it in my marrow. My apologies, Inspector. This case is under your jurisdiction, not mine. I leave it in your hands. When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy by now.
Oh, sweet gibbering law! Where'd you come from? Sorry, let me just get back in character. Whoa, 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 it's not what it looks like. Easy, friend. No need to get violent. There are as many reasons to spare my life as there are flavors in Rizzo's Spectrum vodka. I'll give you 2 reasons. First, I am a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Enterprise. And secondly, I'm just here doing a job for a VIP. Mascot's honor. I am acting on behalf of Mr. Black Hole Birdie, the Holmeister, the Hack Attack. I don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Birdie sent me to retrieve a message, something he recorded for Ms. Bellamy while he was off his kilter. It's extremely difficult for me to tell you no. In fact, I'm experiencing enormous mental anguish right now. Will you meet me later, over at the pilot house? I swear, from the bottom of my employment contract, I will tell you everything I know about Ms. Bellamy's demise. I figured you'd understand. Big penthouse like this, and you never know who's dropping eaves. Meet me over by the pilot house. It's the land complex with the big old engine that keeps us flying. I'll tell you everything I know, I swear.
What floor would you like to visit?
Agent encroaching.
Trying to infect me with your sorrow?
Bag required. Job classification. Flawlessly finished.
Here, I could use a new pair of glasses.
Can't imagine where you misplaced your old pair.
Hey, you. Hey, you look like you need some stuff. Fancy watch? Spare cufflink? Single ear?
he's not in here.
Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life. Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death? Medical analysis complete. This mascot was likely killed by small arms fire at close range. The firearm is unique and does not exist in this unit's database. Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler. Yes, Inspector. The Needler. Bespoke handgun carried and wielded by Halcyon Helen. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon was responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge. This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
Customer, if you intend to use this telescope for sightseeing purposes, please cleanse the eyepiece.
Hey, you can see into the hotel rooms with that thing.
Administrator Ludovico can't seem intimidating, but he's interesting fellow. Nice when he cares.
Aren't you looking for a new hat?
Indeed. And that looks just like...
Rizzo's mom.
Their mistake.
What the? Put him in the dirt! Get rid of the body!
I'll show you happiness!
I got another
Wanted
fight
to
in me.
make you smile!
Inspector, good to see you. Let me just grant you access and... Welcome to the Piraeus Spaceport.
Trouble ahead.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Sluglight Underground don't like that much.
Sluglight? That's a new one.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm! Draw! What? Why ain't you doing nothing? You scared of us? Huh? Huh? I'm sorry. We're sorry. Please don't hurt us. We're not bad people. We're just confused. You don't need to tell us twice. Come on, all. Let's get the hell out of here.
Unclean counters, unswept floor, unhygienic vendor. This is unacceptable.
Hey, you! I got something I need to speak with you.
What do you want?
Shh! Not so loud! How'd you know it was me? Yeah, that makes sense. You must be a good one to sniff me out. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto. Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato. Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. She's gone and nothing I do will bring her back. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever. Being bright was always Helen's thing. That I can do. What do you want to know? So, how do I help? Are you saying... You really think I had something to do with her death? Is that what you're saying to me right now? Because if you think I'd... Deep breaths, Birdie. In and out. Deep breaths. Helen was the love of my life. She was really someone special. I'd have done anything for her. Anything. I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers. You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
Drunk is the medical term.
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air. We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow? There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her. I don't know. We were drunk, and we made bad choices. She was all alone. I know how that feels now. It's so hard to be all by your lonesome. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time. I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her datapad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief. Nah, she sent a note to my hotel room before we, you know, split. I don't know how long it was sitting there before I noticed. Sure did. Only there was a guard out there who found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was. Real sure. It was dark as night gets. Plus, I've got small veins. Anyway, I didn't much feel like trying to explain why I was out there, or why I was drunk, and holding someone else's datapad, and also maybe crying a little, so I booked it. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone. Yeah, I mean, no. Nope. No one else. I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble.
You have no idea how long I've wanted to do this. Listen up, sprat fuck. You're in big trouble.
I am?
Hey, I'm asking the questions here. From now on, you don't talk until I tell you to. And when I do, you better sing like a terror ray. Got it?
I think so. Yes.
think you're our only source? While you've been here nursing your conscience, your friends have been talking. And it's not looking good for you, Birdie. If that even is your real name. You're gonna tell us what we want to know, or you're gonna find out what the inside of Tartarus looks like.
Okay, I'll tell you everything. Just, please, don't make me talk to her. Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down. That sounds like a good idea. So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Auric, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and the hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again.
A shot of Spectrum mixed in a Gigantor energy drink first thing in the morning. Works like a charm.
I think that probably counts as drinking, but thanks, ma'am. Anyway, you ought to take Helen's datapad. Maybe you'll have better luck understanding her notes. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing. I know that. But you gotta believe me. I would never hurt Helen, no matter how drunk I was. You could preserve me in Spectrum Brown and I wouldn't even look at her funny. I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it'd be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble. I'm not threatening nobody. Gee, I try to help someone out. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else.
Hey, could I talk to you for a second? Hey, I saw your ship. The Unreliable.
Somehow, I don't think the freelancers and sublight agents are staying...
Hey, pal.